It's good to know when you're being persuaded and when people are trying to get you to do something, so that you can be aware of ways to refute that persuasion or those persuasive attempts. It's also really good for them to know how to get people to do what they want them to do. Just teaching persuasion here, we're able to talk about the persuasion that they're encountering in other countries, also the persuasion that they're encountering on the ship, everything from people representing their home universities to everybody wearing their semester at sea swag. Students are definitely learning that each country kind of has its own feel as far as when they're trying to get you to do something, how they go about doing it. China, for example, the vendors would physically pull you into their shop. Vietnam, a lot of times they use the little kids to try to get you to buy stuff. Whereas Burma, it seemed like people weren't quite like that. Everybody in my class, it felt like when they were purchasing something for a market, they were getting a pretty good deal and they didn't feel like they were being harassed to buy things. People felt better buying from markets in Myanmar. And maybe it's just because it was more isolated, more closed off, and it hasn't quite gotten to that really touristy sort of place. We arrived in Myanmar later than we had anticipated. We went from the ship to Yangon for dinner, and we met up with our UN contacts, and they were amazing. They had a great conversation with the students, and they spoke about how they use persuasion in practice. It's a little bit different than what we see or what we think of persuasion techniques in more developed areas of the world. They do interactive or dance workshops or theater workshops. This is pretty common in developing areas where maybe people can't read or people can't write. I think what's really good is they're seeing persuasion in action. They're also seeing the pro-social side. I think a lot of them are feeling like they want to go to these countries and make a difference and make a change. They're learning some techniques where they can hopefully apply those down the road and do something that will affect some sort of change in the world.